Hello class. All right, today we're going to do the test 2 review. Pay attention to the directions and the instructions. Questions 1 through 5 cover objective 5. Questions 6 through 10 cover objective 6. Questions 11 through 15 cover objective 7, and questions 16 through 20 cover objective 8. So make sure that you pay attention to the directions to know which questions come from which objective. So let's look through a couple of these questions quickly. So objective 5 is 1 through 5. So let's look at number 1. We have b minus 2 equals 11. Okay, so we have to add 2 to both sides. That way we get b equals 13. If we look at number 2, we have x plus 2 equals 5. We subtract 2 on both sides. We get x equals 3. Okay, let's look at number 4. For number 4, we have 4x equals negative 12. So we divide by 4 on both sides. So x equals negative 3. Okay, so that is how you work those problems from objective 5. Let's look at one more from objective 5 before we go to objective 6. Here we have negative 1 over 6n equals negative 30. So because we have negative 1 over 6, what we want to do is multiply by the reciprocal of this fraction on each side. Okay, so we are dividing by this fraction, and the way we divide fractions is we multiply by the reciprocal. Okay, so I'm just going to rewrite it in a way that will help you guys see what's going on a little better. Okay, so after we do this, of course, 6 times 1 and 1 times 6, that's gonna, cancel out. And we have n equals negative 30 times negative 6 over 1, which is just negative 6, okay? So our end result will be positive 180. All right, now let's look at number 6. For number 6, we are asked to solve and check. So let's work a couple of these. This one is negative 9y plus 5 equals 17. So here we subtract 5 on both sides. And then we will have negative 9y equals positive 12. Then we will divide by negative 9 on both sides, and y will equal negative 4 over 3. So we have to simplify the 12 over negative 9, and we get negative 4 over 3. Okay, let's look at number 7. For number 7, we have 6a plus 6 plus 2a equals 14. So the first thing that I need you guys to notice is if both sides of our equation are simplified. Here we have a 6a and a 2a on the left side. These like terms can be combined to get 6a plus 2a which is 8a. So our new equation will be 8a plus 6 equals 14. From here, we will continue as usual, subtract 6 from both sides, and we get 8a equals a number. Then we will divide by 8 on both sides to get what a equals, okay? On number 9, notice that both sides are simplified. So you can start moving things across your equal sign. For number 10, we have a fraction in here. So we can multiply the whole fraction by 7 to clear our denominator. So I'm going to show you guys what that looks like. Or you can just work it with the fraction. It's really up to you. So if we multiply the whole equation by 7, of course, this would just be negative 4b. Then our plus 4 will now be plus 28. And our 8 will be 46. What? What's 7 times 8? 56. And our 8 times 7 will be 56, okay? From here, you will continue as usual, minus 28 on both sides. Then after you get that number, you will divide by negative 4 on both sides to get b. For problems 11 and 12, we have a fraction in each term, so I would recommend to clear your denominators, okay? The same way we multiplied everything in number 10 by 7. To clear this denominator, we can multiply everything in these to clear the denominators, okay? So for number 11, we have the denominator of 3, 6, and 3. So we can multiply everything by a 6. And for our denominators in number 12, we have 4, 3, and 4. So we can multiply everything by 12. So make sure you revisit that section in the lecture. For these particular problems, they are for objective 7. So make sure that you review that clearing the denominator technique and how to find the LCM. So let's do number 13. Our denominators are 2, 8, and 8. So let's multiply everything by an 8. Okay, so we're multiplying everything by 8. So of course, these two just be 5 and 5x. And this one, we have 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 8 4 times, so 4 times 3 is 12. So we have 12 equals 5 minus 5x, okay? From here, easy peasy, subtract 5 on both sides, get an answer, have negative 5x. Then we will divide both sides by negative 5 to figure out what x equals, okay? Let's look at number 15. Here we have some brackets, some parentheses, all of this fun stuff. So let's work this one out a little bit. This is number 15. Okay, so first, we want to start with our parentheses or our group But with that, we have to look and see what that involves. So inside of our brackets, we have a parenthesis group, and we have a parenthesis group here. But because we're working with a variable, we can't just do y minus 1. So this -4 in front here, we have to distribute that to the y and to the -1. The same with this +4 here. We have to distribute it to the 2y and the 9, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. So let's copy this 4 here, our bracket, and this 2. Now, -4 times y is -4y. -4 times -1 is +4. Okay, and we can close that bracket off. Bring our equal sign down. We have 4 times 2y, which is 8y. And we have 4 times 9, which is 36. Okay? So from here, we have to tackle this group, the bracket group, because we have some like terms in here that need to be combined. So we're going to bring that 4 on down. 2 plus 4 is 6. So we have 6 minus 4y. And we can copy the rest of this down. Now we have to distribute this 4 to the 6 and to the -4y. Okay? So 4 times 6 is 24. 4 times -4y is -16y. And we can copy the rest of this on down. Okay? Now that both sides of our equation are simplified, now we can start moving things across our equal sign. Okay? So we can subtract 8y from both sides, and we can subtract 24 from both sides. All right? So we get -24y equals 12. Then we divide both sides by -24, and we get y equals 12 over -24, which we can reduce to be -1/2. Okay? So we have more steps being added, more tedious things that we need to pay attention to, but it's absolutely doable and achievable. In our last objective for test 2, it was objective 8, and we talked about inequalities. So for number 16, we have to write the solution in set builder notation. So we know that set builder notation, we have that variable, we have the bar, and then we have our solution for our inequality. So let's look at the one that we are given. We have x plus 5 greater than or equal to 3. So remember, we kind of treat the inequality symbol like the equal sign, but we have special rules that apply for our inequalities. So the same way we would subtract 5 from both sides, we're going to do that here. So if we go ahead and do that, we have x greater than or equal to -2. Okay, so we have to find the answer that looks just like this, but we have that x in that bar, and we have it in our set brackets. So as we can see, that is the first bubble. Okay, and we are asked to graph it. So remember, when we have greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to, it is closed. Okay, so we need to either put a closed circle or a bracket. Okay, so let's try a bracket. So first you can kind of do a small graph of it to kind of get in your mind what it's going to look like. So we know that it's going to go in this direction. So it's going to be shaded this way. And because it's closed, it's going to have a bracket. So let's click on our bracket here. So we click on the bracket, then we click on our -2. Then we click on the draw to shade it in that direction. Okay, so that's how you graph here. Hopefully by now you have watched the video to see how you graph in WebAssign, and this shouldn't be a problem for you. Okay, so let's look at some examples from this section that are a little bit more lengthy. So here for number 17 and 18, we have some simplifying and some distributing that we need to do. For number 19, we have some fractions and we can clear the denominators. The only thing is for number 19, when we clear these denominators, remember that if we multiply by a positive number, the sign will not change. But if we multiply by a negative number, the sign will change. It will flip to the other direction, okay? So let's look at number 17. We have 11 minus 11 times 2 minus x less than 2 times 6x minus 2, okay? So first, let's look at what we need to distribute. We need to distribute this -11 to the 2 and the -x, and we need to distribute this 2 to the 6x and the -2, okay? So right now we are just distributing on the left and the right side. We are not moving anything across our inequality sign, okay? So when we multiply this -11 through on the left side, please do not flip your inequality sign, okay? Because we're only working on the left side. Now, if we multiply both sides by a negative number, then that inequality symbol will flip, okay? Please do not get confused by that. So let's copy this 11 down because we're not working with that yet. So we have -11 times 2, which is -22. We have -11 times -x, which is positive 11x. Bring our inequality symbol down. We have 2 times 6x, which is 12x. We have 2 times -2, which is -4, okay? We still can't start moving things around just yet because we have some like terms that need to be combined. So 11 minus 22 is going to give us -11. Then we can copy the rest of our equation down, okay? From here, we can start moving things. So let's subtract 12x from both sides. Let's add 11 to both sides, okay? So we will have on our left side 11x minus 12x, which will just be -x. And on our right side, we will have -4 plus 11, which will be 7, okay? Now, we cannot have -x less than 7. We have to have x symbol and a number, okay? So we have to divide both sides by a -1 because we don't want it to be -x. So because we are dividing both sides by a -1, the less than sign is going to become greater than. And 7 divided by -1 is going to be -7, okay? So this is our solution, all right? Now they asked us to write it in integral notation. So remember, an easy way to do that is to graph it. We have -7 here in the middle, and it's going to go in this direction like that. So let's just color that in. and because it is greater than, it is open. So now we kind of can match this up. It's going to be open at -7, so we have an open parentheses and a -7, our comma, and it's going in this direction towards positive infinity. So we put that down, and then we put another parenthesis because at infinity it is open. So this is what we will put into our box, okay? If we put this in the box, it will be incorrect, not because it's the wrong answer, but because it's not what they asked for. So you have to pay attention to the directions. If they ask for the solution in interval notation, then that is what they are expecting. If you put this in there, it's going to be wrong, okay? And you're not going to get credit for it because you didn't follow directions. So make sure if it asks for an interval notation, you insert this answer, okay? If it asks for a set builder notation, make sure you insert that form, and if it asks you to graph it, make sure that you graph it. So quickly, let's look at number 19. We have 1/4x minus 3/4 less than 7/2x minus 4. So I would recommend to multiply every term in here by a positive 4 to clear these denominators, okay? You can absolutely work with it in fractions. It may take you longer. It may be more difficult. I will work it by clearing the denominator, so I advise that you all do the same. So if we do that, we multiply each term by 4. So 4 times 1/4 is just going to be 1, and then we have the x, so it's just going to be x. -3/4 times 4 is just going to be -3 or -3. We keep our inequality symbol the same because we're multiplying by a positive number. 4 times 7/2x, we can say that 2 goes into 2 one time, 2 goes into 4 twice, so we can do 2 times 7 and get 14. 14x, or you can do 4 times 7 divided by 2 and still get 14, okay? Then we got 4 times -4, which is -16. Now that both of these sides are simplified and we don't have any fractions, this is, what we're familiar with. Now we can continue to work the problem as usual, okay? Last but not least, number 20, we're asked to write it in set builder notation. Once again, remember what that looks like. We have our variable, a bar, and then we have the inequalities. So let's look at some of our choices. Here we have -infinity less than x less than positive infinity. So we haven't worked with anything that looks like this yet. So this is definitely a no. If we look at this one looks the same way. That's a no, okay? So we can kind of see that these are set up the way that we are familiar with, what we have talked about and what we have worked with, but it's a matter of whether it's a positive or -8, and whether it's less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. So 6x plus 12 less than or equal to 9x minus 12. Here both sides are simplified. We can subtract 9x on both sides. We can subtract 12 on both sides. So over here we have -3x less than or equal to. Then we have -12 minus 12 is -24. So we have to divide both sides by -3. So because we are dividing by a -3 on both sides, we absolutely have to flip our inequality symbol. And -24 divided by 3 is +8. So we need to look for our answer choice that has that. So we need to look for the x, which those three have it, the bar, those three have it, and x greater than or equal to +8. So this will be our answer choice. I hope this helps you guys review for test 2. If you do the review and you are not happy with your score on the review, I repeat, please do not jump in and take the test. Please contact me. Let's figure out where you're struggling at. Maybe we can get you into an office hour section to go over some problems or something before you take test 2. All right, so y'all have an awesome day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.